Everyone thought the bear would attack the man after being rescued. But what it did was shocking. For a moment, the entire forest held its breath. Birds fell silent, leaves trembled, and even the river that rushed over cold stones seemed to pause. The man stood completely still, his shirt torn, his face scratched from branches, and his heart pounding so loud he felt the bear could hear it. Just minutes ago, he had dragged that same half-conscious animal out of a metal trap, risking his own life even though he knew it could kill him with a single swipe. Everyone who had seen it unfold from a distance, hikers, forest guards, even his own friends, shouted for him to run. But he didn't. And now the massive creature stood only a few steps away, breathing heavily, blood still dripping from the cut on its paw, its dark eyes fixed deeply on his. He remembered the moment he first heard the cry. It wasn't loud, not the roar of a predator, but the desperate, strangled sound of something in pain. He had hesitated at first, unsure of what kind of animal it was. But when the cry came again, something inside him pushed him forward. He had always been like this, drawn to wounded things, unable to walk away from suffering. His father used to tell him, "Kindness doesn't make you soft. It makes you brave." Those words echoed in his mind as he pushed through thick bushes and saw the bear. The trap had snapped shut around its leg, the cruel metal teeth biting deep. The bear was exhausted from struggling, its strength fading. And yet when he stepped closer, its eyes had flashed with fear, not aggression. He knew he could die helping it. He knew no one would blame him if he walked away. But he also knew he wouldn't be able to live with himself if he didn't try. So he had spoken softly, the way one speaks to a terrified child, not an animal that could crush bones. "It's okay. I'm going to help you," he whispered, even though he wasn't sure the bear understood anything except his tone. His hands shook as he pried open the trap. The metal resisted, the rust grinding, cutting his palms. But he didn't stop. The bear whimpered, a deep, painful sound that made him work faster. Finally, the trap opened, and he pulled the bear's leg free. He thought the bear would run, but instead it collapsed. It was too weak. Without thinking, he slid his arms under its heavy body, struggling with the weight. Inch by inch, breath by breath, he dragged it toward the cave nearby that offered shelter. The forest guards arrived right around then, screaming at him to get away from the animal. But he refused. He cleaned the wound with water from his bottle, tore his own shirt into strips, and tied them around the injured leg. "If it dies," he said through clenched teeth, "then at least it won't die alone." His stubbornness shocked everyone. Now, hours later, the bear was awake, standing, looking at him. Too close, too big, too unpredictable. The man swallowed hard. His legs wanted to run, but his heart held him in place. He didn't regret helping it, even if this would be the last moment of his life. But instead of roaring, instead of raising its claws, the bear did something so unexpected, so deeply human, that even the forest guards fell speechless. It lowered its head, not in anger, not in preparation to charge, but in gratitude. A slow, deliberate bow. The huge animal leaned forward with a soft rumble, pressing its forehead lightly against the man's chest. His breath caught. Instinctively, his trembling hands reached up and touched the thick fur between its ears. The bear didn't move away. It stood there, allowing the contact, its warm breath washing over him. The man could feel its heart beating, a steady, heavy rhythm. An animal that could have torn him apart was instead offering trust. He didn't know when the tears started, but he felt them on his cheeks. He had rescued many animals in his life, but this was different. This wasn't an animal acting out of fear or instinct. This was a moment of connection, fragile and indescribable, something that broke the barrier between species. It was as if the bear was saying, "I know you saved me. I know you mean no harm." The guard stood far back, stunned. No one dared to interrupt. The forest existed in a strange bubble of peace. The bear stepped back, its eyes watching him with something almost like softness. Then, slowly, it turned and limped toward the deeper trees. But before disappearing entirely, it paused, looked back once more, and let out a low, gentle sound. Not a growl, not a warning, something else. A thank you. And then it was gone. The man let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. People rushed toward him, friends, guards, strangers. But their voices felt distant. All he could think about was the feeling of that massive head against his chest. How the bear had trusted him. How something wild and powerful had understood kindness. Word of what happened spread quickly. Videos surfaced online. People argued whether the bear was showing gratitude or just exhausted. But those who were there knew what they had seen. There are some truths the heart understands before the mind does. Weeks passed. The man returned to his life, but something inside him remained unsettled. He found himself thinking about the bear more than he cared to admit. He wondered if it survived. Wondered if the wound healed. Wondered if, somewhere in the forest, it remembered him too. One morning, he decided to go back to the place where it happened. Not to find the bear, but simply to revisit the memory. The forest was quiet. Sunlight filtered through the trees, warm and golden. As he walked, he felt at peace. He reached the clearing where he had first heard the cry. The trap was gone. Rangers had removed it. He sat on a fallen log and closed his eyes. A soft crack of branches made him open them again. His breath caught. There, emerging from the shadows, was the bear. It was healed now, strong, beautiful. Its fur shone in the sunlight. For a moment the world froze, just as it had weeks before. The man stood slowly, unsure of what to do. But the bear didn't show any sign of aggression. Instead, it approached calmly, step by slow step. The man didn't move. His heart pounded, but not with fear this time. With awe, with recognition. The bear stopped just a few feet away. Again, it lowered its great head. Not as low as before, but enough that he understood. The same gesture. The same silent thank you. The man smiled through tears. "You made it," he whispered, voice shaking. "I'm glad." And then something even more surprising happened. The bear sat down, not in a threatening stance, but gently, lowering itself onto the forest floor, as if it wanted to stay with him for a moment, as if it felt safe. He slowly sat too, keeping a respectful distance. They didn't touch this time, but they didn't need to. The bond was already there, built in fear, sealed in trust, strengthened in kindness. No words passed. No gestures needed explaining. They simply existed together, sharing the quiet forest, two very different lives momentarily intertwined. After a while, the bear rose to its feet. It turned to leave, then paused and looked back one last time. The man looked into those deep, dark eyes and felt something shift inside him. A reminder that every act of kindness ripples out into the world in ways we can never fully understand. This time, when the bear disappeared into the trees, he didn't feel sadness. He felt gratitude for the chance to help, for the unexpected friendship, for the moment that reminded him that even the wildest heart can recognize love when it's given freely. And from that day forward, whenever he walked through the forest, he no longer felt alone. He didn't expect to see the bear again, but just knowing it was out there, alive, healed, and somehow connected to him was enough. Some bonds are born not from words, but from courage. Not from fear, but from compassion. And sometimes the most shocking thing an animal can do is simply show us that it understands.